Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hang on a second here. I'm coming here. Yes, indeed. Just got some things going on technology-wise. And hey, well, welcome to another Conversations with Jeff, where our mission is to bring guests in who share impactful information about their story, about their journey, about their battle on the comeback, about the things that they found out that they knew were deep inside, but they had to stay in that battle. They had to stay with that stinking thinking. They had to keep showing up. Every time they get knocked down, they get back up. Every time they get knocked down, I'm going to say it again, they got back up, right? And then they give you empowering solutions that you too, out there that's in the battle of the comeback, that's living your life full out, you too can use right now to hit the reset button in your life, to regain the confidence, regain the momentum, regain the perspectives that are necessary to do this thing called life full out, baby. Right? And my name is Jeff Tyson, and I'm known as the Comeback King. I'm the host of Conversations with Jeff. And oftentimes I'll show up today, with something that's on my mind, something that I think I do that I know will help you out there that are, I think I put it in the title, trying to be selective on what's playing in your mind, trying to make sure we filter out the crap, trying to make sure that no matter how our day started, if it started on the wrong side of the bed, then we get back up and go to the other side of the bed and we hit the restart button and we keep moving forward, like I said earlier, right? So today is one of those days, man, where, we talk about being selective. Tell me how you feel about this. Make a comment in the chat when you hear this. Oftentimes we have these great plans, right? Everything is going cool. Everything is easy and life just seems to roll, right? But it's that curveball that shows up and then it kind of ignites the stinking thinking that we all harbors in our brain, right? That begins to raise doubt, begins to raise fear, begins to remind us of how many times we've failed in the past. Slowly putting the brakes on, right? So now we're running uphill, full speed ahead, and all of a sudden these things happen like I just mentioned, and then we start running uphill with the brakes on. Man, it's hard enough. Anybody that trains knows when you talk about running hills, Walter Payton was the bomb, right? One of his key training things, and I did it too as an athlete, was running hills. Why running hills? Because that just took every muscle in your body to get to the top. Right? And then you got to go back down and start all over again, just like life, right? Oh, man. You guys hear me out there when we talk about these things. I hope you do, right? So anyhow, I'm in a different spot here. I'm in Houston. We had a hurricane. So, the meeting spaces are tight. And just got back from a really fantastic weekend, family reunion in the Midwest. And kudos to my wife and her cousins, and daughters. They really put a tremendous event on. I'm saying all these things that, I've been running still, and just today, having to shift and pivot and find a location that works because I'm supposed to be here. I am meant to be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 o'clock as close as possible. And then in between Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have some different sessions going on to just talk about some things that help prepare you to win that battle with your stinking thinking. Oh, man, right? So today, we get back to why I'm here today and really just kind of give you some things to think about. And I'd like you to also put in the chat things that come to mind. When you hear me say something, you probably have something else that fits where you are today. Make sure you put that in the comments and let me know how that is, right? Because listen, I don't have all the answers, but I'm never going to pretend to do that. And this is a conversation. Although, you're millions of miles away in all parts of the world, we can still communicate through this chat thing, right? So anyway, set the notification bell if you're new. Share this information before we get ready to get started, and keep showing up, right? Be part of that comeback warrior community where we know that commitment and convenience, like Lisa Nichols says all the time, I'm going to say it again, commitment and convenience. Don't live on the same street, baby. Oh, she hit that one, man, right? What she's saying, I understood that to be, hey, listen, it's not going to be easy. But if you stay committed, if you keep showing up, if you keep getting back up no matter what, then it's possible for you to have what it is that you're seeking. But it is not going to be convenient. It's kind of like marriage. Here we go again, right? I told my son-in-law, I said, listen, man, what I've learned in this life and what I've seen from my father, he and my mom were married 44 years before she passed. What I saw something from him that I say all the time. Look, I told him, listen, man, you need to learn how, like I did, to be inconvenienced, to enjoy the fact that it's going to be inconvenient. Enjoy the fact that it's going to not be comfortable. Enjoy the fact that whatever my daughter, your wife needs, within the reason and unreasonable things are a different story. You got to do it, right? Because that's what Pops did, man. He showed up, man. Mom's was a queen. She worked. She played her part too. They were strong, man. But I learned then that it's not going to be convenient to have the life that you want. And they had a great life, man. Man. Anyway, talk about them forever because those are my heroes. And they've long been gone. So yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna read this thing to you that I found this is a book here. It's devotional calendar, and it really has some really powerful things in it. And today, July 23rd, it says, excuse me, you'll do best by filling your minds and meditating on this things true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, and gracious. The best, not the worst. The beautiful, not the ugly. Things to praise, not things to curse. This is Philippians 4:8. I love what it talks about. Authentic, compelling, and gracious. Gracious being meant to help, not to serve. My interpretation, this is what I interpret. Meant to help other people. It's not about you graciously seeking to serve, right? And then talking about the best, not the worst. I was like, again, just Jeff's example of life, right? Getting ready to come down here today. Got in late last night. Things weren't all together. I'm like, oh man, that stinking thinking was saying, man, you could probably skip this one. Right? No, I can't just skip this one. You can act like something's going on with technology and all that stuff and have an excuse. No, I don't have excuses. I try not to. I'm not perfect. Sometimes stuff just happens, right? So anyway, I'm gonna ask you some questions and you just kind of put them in there and let me know what's going on and drop it in the comment section. And hey Quinn, what's going on, man? Good to hear you this morning. Hope all is well. Yes, sir. So let me know how we go through this exercise. And if anything resonates with you, just let me know in the chat, right? So we talked about, take a look at that Philippians 4:8. That's a powerful statement. So I said, so let's be selective. What's playing? I don't know if I asked you this, but I'm asking now. What's playing in your mind? Hey, check this out. These are the conversations that I had with Jeff Tyson every morning. Right? So I'm just going to share a little exercise of the process that goes through my head. And then you let me know what's going on. So what's playing in your mind, right? What are you giving access to? All right. So what's playing in your mind right now? What are you giving access to? Is it the lack thinking or is it prosperity? Is it gracious or selfishness? Right? You can think about the negative, but you're not going to be able to achieve the positive when you do that. These are things we already know, right? So look, I just wrote them down. You can think sickness, but you can't get well by thinking sickness, man. I mean, for me, myself, with my recovery and my prostate progress and all those things, there's times when I want to complain and then I don't feel good, right? I mean, there's times when I just start the whole thing off and I'm gracious and grateful to be here and I do the things I'm supposed to do. And man, the day and I feel better, right? So what do you can't think. And then you can put it in the chat what it is for you. You can't think, warrior, and be scared. And let scaredness or fear stop you, right? It's okay to be scared, baby. It's what you do with that fear. It's what you do with that frightful thought and that experience that makes the difference, right? Anyway, so I like this one because everybody's wanting to have some things. So I'll challenge you. How often do you think about the things you don't have versus the things that you want? Right? I'm going to say that again. How often do you think about the things that you don't have? Lack, I like to think, versus the things that you want. Can you tell me what those things are that you want? Oftentimes when that question's asked, most people begin to tell you what they don't want. You hear it all the time, right? So is that you? Are you when people ask you that, when you think about it, you're talking about what you don't want anymore? I don't want to live in this house. I don't want to have, you know, the amount of money that I have. Don't want to have the job I have. Or do you think about, man, I'm chasing my dream. I'm finding my purpose. I'm doing things that I never thought I would do in my health and I'm gaining financial freedom because I've taken chances. I've found courage in the fear, right? Which way is it for you? I want to retire my wife. I want to retire my mom in 5 years. Or, man, my mom keeps working and I don't know how I can help her. Which way is it for you? Oh, man. Look, it's obvious that, well, I don't know how obvious it is, but the real part about all this is the real battle is in your mind. It's right up here. And that's the whole reason and foundation of conversations with Jeff, because I believe the stinking thinking that goes on up here, the battle in our mind, is the greatest gift that we all have access to. But unfortunately, man, me included, most of the time, many of us fall victim to the stinking thinking. And after a while, there's a series of things that happen, and then we just kind of subconsciously or slowly surrender the will to battle. We slowly surrender the idea of being courageous. We slowly surrender the idea of change. And we're into this routine and habits. And these routines and habits are the things that keep us stuck, are the things that keep us, wondering and doubtful that anything else can change in our lives. Right. If this is somebody like you, this is resonating to you out there, drop it in and let me know. This is just Jeff sometimes, right? I know I'm not the only one, though. I know I am not the only one. So we should get excited about that, because guess what? You guessed it. We have complete control of our thoughts. Man, and that takes unbelievable effort. That takes unbelievable compassion to find something that you really want. Nothing will stop you from getting it, right? That burning desire we talk about a lot. What is it that will get you moving for real? Not, I want to have free time as a business owner. I want to work. I want to look pretty on the beach. I want my family to be prosperous. But what really is it for you? Right? Then when you're long gone, right, the things that you've done doesn't have to help millions. It could help just a few. But your name lives on in the memories of others. Your name lives on in the efforts and the contributions that you made, right? And for me, man, it's obviously it's the family and the grandbabies, babies, but more importantly, it's my pops and moms, I talk about it all the time, and they were examples of proud people of color, and they did things peacefully, and they did things, well, you didn't want to mess with Pops, right? But anyway, they made an example of their life for others to follow, right? And with these crazy times we got going on right now, man, my fear for our brown babies and babies in general, that, from growing up in single family households and females on top of that, and they're doing their best, man, but life is not set up for them to succeed. What do we do with the continuation of that percentage growing? More and more kids being born into that situation, more and more kids on target to end up in jail, institutions, or death, right? What can we do as a country? What can we do as people to begin to change that trajectory, right? To provide some opportunities, some care for those moms, and some education around family, man, right? So anyway, that's it. And so I encourage you to find out what it is. I love people that are talking about feeding millions of people because they're doing that. I know guys that are feeding a billion people. One of my coaches, right? And he started out because he was hungry when he grew up. How many of us had things that happened to us when we grew up that we said we would never want to have in our lives? What is that really? Burning desire for you. What really is that thing, man? Okay, so talked about complete control. We can't stop the things that come around us. And listen, the brain's going to absorb it whether you are paying attention or not. It's absorbing, man. That brain is amazing. It's designed to kind of keep us safe and sound. So we have to understand that. But knowing that you can Oh man, I like to think of it as mental calisthenics, right? Mental weightlifting, mental building that momentum up, right? I mean, think of your brain as a muscle. You know, that muscle, just like your six pack gut, if you have it, or your one pack, like I got, whatever you might have. But think of that as a muscle, man, and you have the opportunity to mold that joker, to gain control of it. Right. And when it starts going down that stinking thinking path, when you're in the middle of the comeback, or you just got finished with one, and then right around the corner, another one shows up in your life. And you're like, oh man, oh, you're just getting started. That muscle, that brain. What are your thoughts? What's being selective? Are you being selective? What's playing in your mind? And those difficult times, man. So I want to tell you, fill your mind with things that move you forward. Fill your mind with things that remind you of your greatness. Fill your mind with the things that keep you moving forward, right? Shaking off the disappointment, shaking off the setbacks, which are really designed for setups, right? Shaking off the stinking thinking that says, oh man, why don't you just quit? Because look, why do I keep talking about quitting and not quitting? Because that's the only thing I believe, and I know in my life, that's the only thing that will keep you from moving forward, is if you quit, right? Oh man, I'm just going to do something else. How many times have you started something and you didn't finish it? And how did you feel? And how many times did you do something that you didn't think you could do? How did you feel? Oh man, that's what's going on. That's what's necessary for you and I to keep moving forward, to keep this thing moving, man. So I'd like you to begin to fill your mind with visions of prosperity. Fill your mind with visions of serving others. Fill your mind with the joy that keep getting up, fighting and facing your demons gives you when you don't quit. And the smiles on your partner's faces. And when you look in the mirror, man, I mean, these last couple of months, I gotta be honest with you. Man, sometimes I would go in the restroom and I hold my head down because I didn't want to see the guy that was looking back at me, right? Because I had fallen into this funk, right? I had set these things up goal-wise, you know. I'll just share about health, right? I had these things I wanted to do, and in my recovery process, it takes more time out of my day. So I was saying, okay, I want to do these things, but I want to make sure I still have a productive day. So I began to start my day out really early, and that worked out really well for a while. Right, and I got my exercise done. I started feeling good, and you know, then all of a sudden I was like, this stinking thinking started to say, okay, man, like, you're looking pretty good, you know. And remember, you don't necessarily have to have those compression stockings on because you're not as bad as some of the others. You're not as, you know, you have a little issue, but you're not as bad as some of the others. So man, maybe, you know, exercise a little bit more, do something different. Just start to do my own thinking rather than following the doctor's orders, right? And then so I'm not getting up as early as I was, so I'm not getting to the things I need to get to that I need to get to show up here, and I'm not preparing myself. So all of a sudden I'm like, crap, right? Where did all that go? Where did it go, man? Right? Because the bottom line, when I was doing that, not only was I feeling better physically, I was feeling better mentally and spiritually and emotionally, because I knew that I was preparing myself for the day. And I've got some big days, man, right? Like many of you. And I was getting some things done and making traction. But here's the thing I'm going to say to you as I wrap this thing up. Be careful. Sometimes success, the fear of success, is as bad as the fear of failure. And my history has shown me that oftentimes in my life, it's been the fear of success. So if you're out there and that thermometer and thermostat, you become the thermometer rather than the stat, and the stat is the one that pushes the button, that raises and cools the heat, whatever it is for you. Stop it. Pay attention to it. And know that you can hit the reset button, you can get restarted and get refocused and get back out there and do what you got to do to get things done, right? So be selective. Pay attention to what's playing in your mind. Pay attention to the people that you're hanging around. And let's just face it, you know, the political climate is going to be off the charts. We have the Olympics coming up. There's a whole lot of distractions, right? So what are you going to pay attention to? The things that you can control or the things that you can't? The things that bring you energy or the things that drain you? The things that, oh man, give you inspiration or the things that take away? That's your choice. And you do have a choice. So one of my dear friends, he has a daily thing. And he always talks about, what do you choose? Because what you choose is what you get. Right? What you choose is what you get, baby. So what are you choosing today? I choose not to let stinking thinking be the roadblocks when I'm going through the battle or the comeback, baby. Be the inspiration for me to know that, hey, listen, anybody that is requiring great things from themselves and been given the gift is going to go through some crap. So get ready for it, man. Get in the spot where you really enjoy the idea of another battle. That's just where it goes, man. And get busy winning. You win one little piece at a time. We find our way one little step at a time. Take lots of little steps. Little steps will take you a long way over the course of life. And you know what? They talk about, I think, what is it that you can go, when it says you can go faster by yourself, but you can go further together. So I encourage you to get with me. Reach out to me. Let me know if there's things that are going on in your life that you've heard me talk about or you think I can help you with. And let's have a conversation. Just a real conversation, whether it be in business, right? 44 plus years in business, 20 in corporate, and 25 as an entrepreneur actually coming up, and or relationships, right? Been divorced, got myself together, remarried, beautiful family. And, you know, so, hey, that was a journey in this process, right? Start a business, almost lose a business, start another business, leave corporate America, wherever that fit for you is, right? And if you're struggling with any kind of substance, man, I just got 30 years June 4th, 30 years clean. So I ask you, what is it that you're willing to do in your life to begin a new journey? And if that journey you're on is working and you need some more direction or some support, or you're in the middle of it, like I always talk about, you're like, oh crap, man, what's next? Let's chat. Hit me up. Let me see if I can get something out there for you before we go that you can reach out and touch me with before we say goodbye. Calendar link is on there, and then set it up. Or hit me up on Facebook. You know, it's Jeff Tyson, or Instagram, jeff.tyson.58. There's a TikTok handle. I don't know where it is, but you can reach me. And remember this. I believe it's possible for you out there that are seeking your greatness, that you can have those things. But you need to know it's possible. Got to do the work. And getting in the battle, oh man, get suited up for it. Begin to enjoy the battle. Begin to understand that be selective about what gets in your brain, and what's in your brain you have control of. And things can change one thought at a time. All right, so reach out and let's talk. Have a great day. And remember this, watch that thinking, man. And enjoy the battle and the comeback, baby. Take care of yourself. We'll be talking again. No more thinking. Comeback King out for the day. Talk to you soon. We got some great guests coming up for them August and September, so put that on your calendar. And we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.